thus far in our ACT training, we've used the ACT 8 demo database. And as you can see, we're on the ACT 8 demo database right now. But if you start trying to define fields on a database that you've already created, that can get really messy. So what we need to do is to create a database from scratch and then define the fields on the database the way that we want them defined. This is the way you'll do it in real life. I doubt that what you're going to do is you're going to try to take the ACT 8 demo database and convert it to meet your needs. No, you're going to start off with a brand new database, and then you're going to either type in the contacts or you're going to import the contacts from another database. But before you do that, I'd highly recommend that you define the fields in such a way that they're best for your company. But it all starts with creating a new database. So in order to create a new database, what we're going to do is we're going to click on File and then on New Database. When we click on New Database, notice that ACT closes the ACT 8 demo database. There can only be one database open at a time. So ACT will close the other database, and that way we're ready to create our new database. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to call this database ACT class. And the username is going to be ACT user. Real original, right? Now, notice it says password is optional. Now, we're not going to assign a password just because this is training, but I would highly recommend that in a production environment that you actually do assign a password to your database. Obviously, there's going to be sensitive information on the database. And we're going to click on OK. And what ACT will do then is create a new database for us. So as you can see, ACT is now creating the database. Now, there's only going to be one record on the database to start. It's just going to be that ACT user. That ACT user, my record, will be created by ACT. So as you can see, now it's moved from creating the database to loading the database. So ACT is now loading ACT class database for us. And as you can see, the only contact that's on the database, contact 1 of 1 for the entire database, is ACT user. And none of that information is even filled in. So if this was you and you wanted to then fill in your my record information, this is where you would fill it in. You'd put in the company information and then start putting in the my record information. Now, notice that even though there aren't any contacts except for the ACT user contact, that we do have a database. We've got all of the pieces of the database, and basically what we've got is we've got the default database for ACT. But there are many things that are within the default database that we can make changes on, which we can customize those fields. For example, there are user fields that we can customize, and we could customize different fields so that they do what we want them to do, so that they have the drop downs that we want, so that they have the information that we want already filled in. So what we're going to do next is we're going to start taking a look at how we customize fields within our new database. That's next.